Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Rick and Morty Amortycan Grickfitti. And I thought this episode was okay. There were some bits that I kind of enjoyed through it, but overall I think it was the weakest one so far, because either one of the scenarios amped up would have been better, but were like two ones that are like where we've got the one-on-one side dealing with Rick, Beth, and Jerry dealing with pretty much the Hellraiser kind of demon things, and then the other one with Morty and Summer dealing with this kid that they're trying to impress, kind of Ferris Bueller style, and none of it is like horrendous. It's just really not as interesting to me as I think focusing on one or the other. Now, granted, I would have thought that it would have been better for them to focus more on the Hellraiser kind of demon things, because the Ferris Bueller bit was just really boilerplate to me. Doing like, okay, it just really wasn't anything special that they could have like amped up or whatnot. It was just like, okay, I kind of get it. So, which one should we do first? Well, the episode starts off, and evidently Beth has to go and deal with like all these like horse pregnancies, giving birth at once because she needs somebody to watch the kids. But evidently it's Rick and Jerry's guys' night kind of thing, and they're doing they're like, all right, they'll go do their other thing, and then of course we get from. She tells Summer not to do anything. Morty's like, hey, I got this dude coming over, and she's like, I said no parties. One dude, whatever. But of course he says the name of the dude, and Summer's like, ooh, we gotta deal with this. It's like, okay, I understand a high school popularity kind of thing, but with everything that these guys have been doing lately, you would think that they really would have that on a lower kind of priority thing. So having its importance kind of like shot up like this for at least this story spot, it's like, okay. So let's deal with that first. He like gets in, and they like make this big deal of this dude doing like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, okay. Like, it's not bad, but it just didn't really like do anything funny for me as they're like doing all these like flashing graphics and go, yeah, yeah, this Bruce dude, yeah. It's like, all right, and they're trying to impress him with interdimensional TV and all that, and trying to get him like seltzer or whatnot. But they get into their head and be like, he goes outside, starts looking at like the at Rick's car. They pretty much have a standoff with the AI, and they say, hey, what if we're trying to go and save Rick? How about that? All right, yeah, I can deactivate for that. And then they go off, and they start doing all this stupid shit. Summer's like beating the shit out of like these sentient mailboxes. That's important for the end credit scene. They're doing all this stuff, but then the AI is like, yeah, I was just playing possum so I could blackmail the shit out of you. Then she's like, decides to kill pretty much a Galactus level of dude, doing all these other crazy stuff. They pretty much make a pit stop because like, yeah, I'm gonna take you home because Rick's gonna pretty much kill you and all that shit. And it's like, all right, they stop off at this place. Bruce pretty much tries to get her to like try and go out with these Changeformer things that are rip-offs of Transformers, which again, I don't mind that this gag's here, but I think that it would have been better if it would have been fully fleshed out, because otherwise they like pretty much try and make her look like a robot, and she goes out, the one dude tries to like kiss her. It's like, it's just a card. She like, fuck your shit, and then sets him on fire, kills him, starts doing some other shit. The cops start coming after him. They're like, we're gonna fucking die. So they kind of like pull themselves out. They get surrounded by the cops. They're like, yeah, you guys are pretty much boned with all the shit you've been doing. But their attorney is Allison Hannigan, which is just a body with the AI chip in it. It's like, yeah, how about we just leave one of you motherfuckers here, i.e. Bruce, take the fall. It's like, no, we're not gonna do that. And of course the AI was like, fine, I'm just gonna blow your asses out. I was gonna go for the non-violent option, but flies him back home, scrubs clean. They get inside before like that's where Rick and their kind of story intersects back in. But like the Brucer's like, yeah, I was just trying to see your social standing and shit. Goes back. And it's like, oh, fuck that dude. Well, in the post-credit scene, he pretty much seems to be a cool dude. But it's like, hey, you wore those pants yesterday. And it's like the stupidest of things. And Morty's like, yep, it's a jungle out there. It's him and Summer are like observing this. Well, hopefully he's okay with his own company, as they do a stupid kind of gag of like, oh, he's like Chut Pants or something like that. And it's like, all right. And then a mailbox, flying ship of mailbox people come beat the shit out of him. Yeah, fuck you, man. And then they fly back off. It's like, all right. And the Hellraiser one's even like just less. Jerry pretty much figures out this like Hell Cube thing, summons the demons, and because they get pleasure from pain, they're essentially feeding off the cringe that Jerry does to Rick, in payment because Rick sold them faulty skin hooks. So they're doing that. He's doing pretty much karaoke and shit. That's like, what the fuck's going on here? You're just making fun of my husband and everything. But I'm like, oh yeah, you're married to this dude. And it's like, fine, I'll take this, drink it. Oh, Essence of Hell. Alright, that tastes pretty good. Stupid name, but fuck yeah. And then they just pretty much start like swapping stories about like the stupid shit that Jerry's done. And then of course, Jerry gets tipped off because some of the demons are in the bathroom. Like, oh yeah, this is pretty good cringe and shit like that. It's like, fuck you people. And then they're like, we're not getting our shit anymore. Well, we'll get it from other means to start killing people, kidnap Jerry, and go into Hell Dimension. And Rick's like, God damn it, no. Never follow demons, because it's gonna lead to hell. So they go in, pretty much dress themselves up like demons and shit like that. That's where you get the Marlin shit and all that. They're able to get through the kind of stupid, convoluted, like, oh yeah, pain/pleasure kind of shit. But we find out that they were pretty much drugged there to continue on, because the only way that you can get the cringe is that somebody needs to witness the cringe to be cringy on the cringe thing. It's like, okay, I understand it, but it sounds so stupid, and I get it. I'm like, all right, it all comes down to the execution, and it's just not there for me. I'm like, all right. So they kind of run away, and Rick pretty much is able to finagle their way out of it by essentially making their pleasure from pain back to just pain, and just shoots them all out. He kicks the one dude in the nuts, and then they get back home, and that is that. It's really kind of weird, because there's an amalgamation of all these different kind of ideas that, if they'd been fleshed out better and kind of executed awesomely, would have made for some really great Rick and Morty episodes by themselves. But it's almost like they didn't know what they wanted to do, so they kind of half-had them and just tried to string them all together, and it just doesn't work that well for me. It's not a horrendous episode, but not one that I really had fun with, and I'm just like, okay, this could have been a lot better. There could have been, if you devoted more time for this one or this other one, it would have been okay. And I don't mind, like, Summer and Morty trying to do stuff with their, like, school standing and whatnot, but it's just, when you and I understand, like, if you're doing, like, self-contained episodes and whatnot, that we might not be seeing the same kind of Morty and Summer that we've been seeing going on these other ones. But if you got in, like, that character development, they'd be just like, whatever, dude. They've been doing all these other things to get out of all these other kind of situations, and trying to get the approval of, like, this new kid. It's like, whatever, man. I dealt with all this other kind of crazy-ass shit. What up? And the demon part, it's like, I really don't... I understand that the trio are the anchor, but you would have thought that it would be anchored more on, like, one of the characters or not. It's just like, okay. They just really don't do much. It's like, oh, we get pleasure from pain, and the way we're going to defeat him is to make him feel pain. Alright? And the thing is, you could have done so much more with that. That's kind of a frustrating thing. So, this is one that I'm just like, if there's a rewatch, I'd pretty much skip. But if you enjoyed it, I'm happy for you. That's cool. That's why that's why I like to talk about these things. See what other people are thinking, what works for me, what works for you, and see if we could talk about, like, how that kind of works. So I'm like, yeah. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.